What's up guys, Rich here, and today we're going to take a look at Kuoe's Royal Smith 90008. And the first thing I'm going to mention about the Royal Smith is its size. All Kuoe watches are between 34 and 38 millimeters, which I'm going to explain why I think that's a fascinating size range. This specific Royal Smith is in 34 millimeters. So if we woke up this morning and we're thinking that we didn't quite need a 34 millimeter sized watch, well, we just might be pleasantly surprised or persuaded a bit. So, put that into perspective. On my 6.5-inch wrist, I think it looks and wears really nicely, a lot better than I thought, because for me, my sweet spot is between 36 and 44 millimeters. So I really wasn't sure what to expect with a 34 millimeter size. And today, let's face it, a 34 millimeter case size would be considered unisex, but I think because of the cushion case of this Royal Smith, it's actually quite masculine. So I wanted to get the size out of the way and the perspective, because I found myself really endeared by this watch. This watch is entirely made in Japan. It's powered by the Miyota 9039 automatic movement and has been regulated to an accuracy of plus 5 seconds a day. And we can see their custom rotor right there. Everything about this watch is made in Kyoto, Japan, by its founder, Kenji Uchimura. The brand was formed in 2020, and there's a long history of how this brand came about, and I think it's an interesting read that you can get on their website. If I'm staying on the dial, I think the style is just really, it's just a sharp dial that I really enjoy staring at. It's got the gold colored brigade style numbers as the indices and the gold hands. And the dial looks like it's kind of an off-white, which it is, but it also has a grainy texture to it. If you look at it up close, it's almost like rice paper. Everything about this watch, in my opinion, just feels right. Its origins are supposed to have been influenced from the 1940s, and unlike today's watches, which is quite popular, where the slogan is inspired by vintage watches, but in a modern size, which is often interpreted as 42 millimeters. But Kuoe wanted to stay true to the size from the 1940s, and that's where this came about. So really, when you're wearing this watch, it's almost like an heirloom piece, one that you might have inherited from your father or your grandfather, just because of its 34 millimeter case size. There is just a lot of beauty and premium feel to this watch. I'm going to get the retail price, get that over with. This retails for $788 on the beads of rice bracelet, or $688 with 2 leather straps. And the reason I'm bringing that up, because I think it is a very strong price point and value for what we are getting. And the other point is which includes the finishing. For a watch that's priced in the $700 range, we would not expect the polish finishing, or the brush finishing for that fact, to be as good as this is, because oftentimes at that price level, the finishing, particularly the polish finishing, has that glazed look to it, right? It's not as deep. It doesn't have that mirror depth to it because of that price point. But that's not what we're getting here. We're getting a really nice finishing. Now, it's not Grand Seiko level finishing with the legendary Zeratu polished finishing, but it's also going to surprise you with the quality of the finishing here. It's not that, it doesn't have that hazy, glazy polished finishing here, or that dull brush finishing. Everything about this is just done really, really well. So if you're a fan of Japanese products, like I am, I think you're going to be really impressed by the Royal Smith. There are two main models in the Kuoe lineup: the Royal Smith and the Old Smith. The Royal Smith is their flagship model, and probably I think it is the most expensive watch in our lineup. So a really, really great value. And if you're into Japanese products, oftentimes I'm going to refer to jeans, denim, because I really like jeans. And if I get a non-Japanese brand, but they use a Japanese selvage denim, it's priced at a premium. But if you buy the jeans directly from Japan, like I sometimes do, it's priced a lot less. What I'm trying to get is that this watch is made in Japan entirely, and so I think this price point is really a really good value than say a watch that's inspired by Japanese themes that is not made in Japan, if that makes sense. This is just a really authentic looking watch here. Everything is nice. This is the beads of rice bracelet. As I said, it has a quick release spring bar, so no tools are necessary. Their leather straps are, although I don't have them here, the quality I can tell is really nice, just based on this and based on the description, which is calf leather and cordovan leather. And those price points are really affordable, especially for cordovan, which can be very expensive. So I think this would also look quite elegant on a cordovan strap, but the beads of rice is the strap or the bracelet that was sent to me. It looks like room for 3 micro adjustments. There is the branding on the clasp. Just a really sharp looking cushion case watch that I didn't think I would fall for as much, just because of its 34 millimeters. I know some people are going to say, well, why not 36 millimeters? That would be perfect for me, or 38 millimeters. And you can get a 38 millimeter case, but just not in this Royal Smith. They have those in other models, but really lovely here. Now, there is no loom on the dial, again, probably staying true to the 1940s themed watches here. So it has a push-pull crown. Just really, really nice here. So again, yeah, if you like vintage watches and you want it more than just inspired by it without the modern size, and I think this is going to be a really nice fit. It's just really pleasant in the hand. Just really sharp looking here. I want to talk about, just for a moment, its presentation. So it looks like one of the a travel suitcase here. It's leather. It says Kyoto, which is where the watches are made, and it comes in this fold out. So a nice, simplistic, minimalist presentation here, which I quite like. Just everything about Kuoe. I think they nailed so many aspects to it. And I know, or I suspect one drawback might be its smaller case size. But as we all know, watches have come down in size, not so much at 34 millimeters. But again, I think to put that into perspective, I think it wears really nicely on me, on my 6.5-inch wrist with this cushion case. Just a lot to like about it. I would have to say this is one of the watches that I was pleasantly surprised, but excited to get my hands on as well, because I really like Japanese watches. But the size really surprised me, very pleasantly surprised by this. So I think, again, the price point at $788 on the beads of bracelet, or $688 for 2 leather straps, I think is a really nice value. And I think you're going to really appreciate the Kuoe watches. You can also check these out at Minutes and Hours Chicago, April 6th and 7th in person. If you're going to be in the Chicago area, please check out the watch show, and you can check Kuoe watches out in person. Overall, I really think Kuoe is really definitely worth a watch looking into. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.